Ladies and gentlemen, today I am playing with the irons that won the Masters. Well, technically the Hideki Matsuyama's irons, and he won the Masters, but I'm pretty sure these irons had, 75% to do with it. Hey everybody, Peter Finch here, and I'm down here at Reddish Vale, and I'm going to be doing a 9-hole course log using these. So these are the Srixon Z Forged iron, and honestly, just look at them. That is an absolutely perfect blade. I cannot remember the last time I had a Srixon club in my hands. I'm not entirely sure I've ever tested anything Srixon on this channel, and I'm very, very excited. So stay tuned to see what I shoot over this 9 holes. I'm also going to be nipping from the course here back to the studio to do a full data test on these irons and to give my impression on what I hope to be a real revelation. I can't wait. So it's going to be an irons only vlog. I've got from 5 iron down to wedge, but I do also have a secret weapon which I may unveil on the par 5. I can't wait to hit that as well. I'm also going to be using these irons to putt with because I almost definitely didn't forget my putter. It's all part of the challenge, isn't it, Kieran? That's what we're saying? It's all part of the challenge. So I'm playing off the yellows to give myself a little bit more of a chance. 401 yards this first. Classic warm-up that I've had, which means I haven't had a warm-up. And when I'm looking down on this absolute butter knife of a club, that's maybe not ideal. Oh, well, it's gone straight. But I think I'm right in saying that every single one of my vertebrae cracked. All 64 of them. 189, playing 182. Now, I don't know the loss of these irons. I literally got them through and was so bloody excited. I just ran down to the golf course, hence the reason I forgot my putter. So I'm gonna go 6 iron, which I think might be a club too much, but the pin's at the front. We'll get into this in the studio, but the sole grind on these irons looks very, very interesting. Oh, I pushed it a bit, but go, 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 go. Yeah, that was, it is what it is. That was a second swing of the day. Pushed it up and out of it, flared it right at the green. But listen kids, I missed it on the right side. I'm gonna stay positive. Irons look amazing still. So as mentioned, the highest lofted club I've got is the pitching wedge, which in this situation's okay, I suppose, got plenty of room. That's one thing about Reddish, I tell you what, it has absolutely dumped it down with rain in the last few days. Snow, hail, cats, dogs, elephants, everything. But the course is still looking great, Nick. Well, the idea was good, just under hit. I maybe should have used like an 8 iron or something. I don't know why I was using a wedge. But as we all know, a bogey on the first hole set us up for a much better round. Go! Oh, straight. Go. Oh, it's best putt of it in weeks. Up the hill. Quite a way. 155. Wind's a bit confusing, it's quite cold. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking just a little drawy 7. I'm going to do a direct comparison of these irons to my Mizuno MP20s as well. So stay tuned for that because I think these could, if early indications are anything to go by looks and feel, potentially be a contender to go in the bag. I mean, they're just so... Oh, so the sun comes out, we're going to get some more shiny images. Pretty decent, just centre of the green. Nice solid strike, pretty lazy swing, which is good. Oh, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Well, that, solid par, thank you very much. I think on this tee, I'm going to unleash my secret weapon. I can't hold it in any longer. But before I do that, let's head back to the studio and have a bit more of an in-depth look at these irons because there's some interesting features despite the fact that they're just like a pure blade. Oh, I mean, these are without doubt an absolutely superb blade. So I've got these irons in an NS Pro Tor 130 X-Flex. They're also 2 degrees flat, so these are very much to my specification. They're in a muscle back design, which is pretty much par for the course in modern blade design. Cosmetically, I absolutely love this like little wave design across the back, which as far as I'm aware is purely cosmetic. From a visual standpoint, the only thing I'm not quite keen on is the Srixon and the Z Forge stamping. It looks a bit weird, it looks kind of like awkward, and it almost interrupts what otherwise looks like an absolutely beautiful club. But as mentioned, purely cosmetic, purely my personal feel on how it looks. So 160, I got an 8 iron. So these are forged from a single piece of 1080 carbon steel. Distance control, which again is pretty common with most blades. But one thing which is interesting about the Srixon Z Forged is this sole. So Srixon call the sole Tor VT. And apparently it makes it more adaptable out of lots of different lies. But for me, certainly on the golf course, the one thing that really stood out is the turf interaction was awesome. Now I know this is very, very golf pervy, but the way that I was hitting the ball and the way that the divots were just being clipped away, you know, there were these nice little beavers popping out of the ground, not big fat badgers flopping down. So for me, it's probably the most interesting and also one of the most unique parts of this club. So, secret weapon. So this is a Srixon ZX driving iron. Forged 18 degrees. I've been wanting to smash a Srixon driving iron for as long as I can remember. Shockingly, this isn't in Hideki's bag. I put it in and I was thinking, well, it's obviously gonna be because it's an amazing club. I've not hit it, but all the things I've heard, but it's not in there. It's got a tailor-made UDI thing. It looks minging. This is what you need, Hideki. It's not like you've just won a major championship or anything. So I'm only going to hit this a couple of times. I think on this one and then on the par 5. Oh my word. Oh, marry me, have my children. Oh my word. That just felt absolutely exceptional. It's one of those clubs that you pick up and as soon as you put it behind the ball, you just know you're going to really like it. I knew that was going to be a good shot before I'd even hit it. 141 down the hill as the Manchester sun breaks through. See if I can just feel like a little 9 iron in. So I hit a draw on the last. It's going to hit like a little held off fade. Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. Quiet, please. Obviously respecting. No. Spoke too soon. Yeah, I just kind of held left there. Strike was good. Strike feels very, I was almost expecting the strike to be super buttery soft. It's actually not. It's actually got a little bit of firmness behind it. And that's not a negative. It feels like it maybe has a touch more punch through the air. Oh, wonderful. 155, so pretty much identical distance to the second. I'm going to try a little bit different though. I'm going to try and hold it back into the wind. You know, I want to try and ascertain the shot shaping capabilities, that as well. One thing I'd say about the irons is they look really nice behind the ball. I don't think they personally look quite as good as the Mizunos. They've got a little bit more of a rounding on the edge, whereas the Mizunos have a little bit of a sharper cutoff. I quite like a boxy look. These just look a little bit soft around the edges. It's just personal preference that, but oh, I've held it, but it's drifted right. Kick off the bank. Oh, it's huge. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Can you hear that it's a little bit clickier than it's soft? Yeah. It's more of a, so I've just run a little bit through the back. And just in case you're wondering why I keep comparing these to Mizunos, there are some similarities. They're a Japanese company, they're a forged iron, and they have a reputation, Srixon, of being very good feeling. But if you were after a nice feeling iron, the gold standard is Mizuno. So that's what I'm comparing it against. I'm giving Srixon that amount of respect. Maybe I should just be an irons only player. Tell you what, if I can get it to about level par, I think that'll be pretty good. And one thing that Srixon have is certain players actually switching to use these irons who aren't contracted. So 190 and onto the 6 iron. Oh. Nice peely fade. So Srixon does have a number of tour players using their stuff. So you've obviously got Hideki Matsuyama, these are his clubs. Then you got Shane Lowry, Graham McDowell, Keegan Bradley. But for this part of the video, I'm actually not interested in those players. They're obviously paid to use Srixon equipment. It's the players who aren't paid to use it and yet still put it in the bag. Now for me, the most notable one of these players is Brooks Koepka. So Brooks Koepka has actually put the ZX7 Srixon irons in, and I will do a separate video on these. But what that says is that Brooks Koepka, obviously one of the very best players in the world, has switched into that equipment because he thinks it's the best that he can play. But also, rather interestingly, he switched out of Mizuno irons. Now that's quite a statement in many respects, because one thing that Mizuno definitely pride themselves on, and even though they wouldn't say this publicly, is the fact that they can get tour pros using their stuff and not have to pay them. Oh man, they're great. Distance control on them is absolutely awesome. And on the course in here is a lovely fly. I mean, look at that one. Whew. So this is normally drivable par 4, but I'm going to throttle back today. I'm going to lay it with a 5 iron, not going to go for it with a 5 iron. Line is basically the bunkers on the right. Out of bounds left, but hopefully shouldn't be bothered. Yeah, slightly firm, but they sound great. They do sound good. Not much of a divot either. I don't know if that's just because of this sole that we've already talked about, or if it's just the excellent condition that the course is in. 82, bit of an awkward distance. So like half a wedge is will pitch 100, so 82 yards is a bit awkward. Might try and open the face up a bit actually, land it just on the front edge. Keep talking about this sole, but this has a good sole. He's got such a good sole. Settle. That's decent, to be fair. I wouldn't exactly say it's the shot I envisage, but pin eye just a little bit low, left. Gotta hit it, you gotta hit it! Gotta hit it! Oh.
Had it gone in with a Mizuno?
Might have gone in if I had a putter. Oh, 229 on the dot. I'm not in the comp, so let's switch some slope on. 209 playing 229 playing 208 to the back. So 5, but I might maybe try and draw it in a little bit. My shot shaping confidence with the Srixons is growing by the second. Oh, big good. Oh, stop it. You're giving me goosebumps. So, unlikely birdie chance really on this hole. No mate, this is an irons only vlog. We spoke about this, this was all planned. This was all preordained. I was never meant to have a putter, it was destiny. Just as this birdie's gonna be. Oh, that was a good bellied wedge that as well. It's all right, par 5 next. I can get to use the 2 iron again, so nobody panic. So before we let the 2 iron eat once more, let's go back to the studio and have a proper Mizuno versus Srixon face off. Pulley. So do these Srixons have a chance of going in the bag? So from a looks perspective, I mean, they are so similar. Honestly, if you gave me these 2 irons, covered up what the logos were, would I be able to tell the difference just looking at them? I don't think so. If I was being very slightly picky, I'd say the Mizunos look slightly squared off. Could I kind of hand on heart say there's this huge difference and oh my God, just look how much better the Mizunos are? I mean, no, not really. I mean, look, that's 2 shots straight after each other. If I was to go out onto the golf course with either of these 2 irons straight away, both would be glorious. If you were going to push me and say, Pete, come on, like, what are the differences? I think the Mizuno still feel slightly better. But we're talking fractions here. Price-wise, they're very similar. So from an online retailer here in the UK, 40 pitching wedge in the Mizuno MP20, you're going to be looking at just over £1,000. And for the Srixons, you're going to be looking at just under £1,000 for the same makeup. We're talking 50 to 100 quid difference. So I'd say for now that the Mizunos are staying in the bag, but I'll leave you with this little thought. If I was using the Srixons before I was using the Mizunos, would I be putting the Mizunos in place of the Srixons? I don't know. I really, really don't know. They're so close, they're so close. So par 5, 2 iron I can use. It's not that into wind, but it seemed to be kind of rude not to hit more of a stinker on it, really. I'm going to try and get this going right over the geese. And then duck. And then back up. And spin. There you go. Easy, eh? What an easy game. Five. Flighted down 5 iron here. Draggy. I hope that's not good in the bunker. Don't fancy using that pitching wedge out of that. Use my right hand to kind of pop this up a bit. Downhill left to right. Do it for me. Do it for me. Oh, look at that, eh? What a centered strike. That's what a centered strike looks like. I can only do it on chip shots and putts, apparently. Right, so all comes down to this, ladies and gents. If you stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. And I want to feel some positive vibes, okay? If you think I'm gonna birdie this last and you want me to birdie the last, hit that like button. Wallop that like button. Pound it. With your finger, not with your fist, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know, I'm doing these club reviews, offering loads of coaching stuff, and doing things like the Quest for the Open. So if you want to get involved in this community, make sure you do. I've got about 130 to 40 yards into this hole. Come on, Kieran, let's do this. It's either like a hard wedge or a feely 9. I think I'm feeling more of a feely 9 just because it's so uphill. Absolutely no prizes for being short. There's out of bounds long though, so choose your poison. Well, it's going to be neither because it's going to be straight at it. All right, come on then. I think unless this goes in, I know that they're not going to be going in the bag, but that doesn't mean you should slack off, Srixons. Come on. That is so thin, but it's actually worked out. Listen, if that's gone in the hole, because that was looking very good, I just want to apologise. I hit that from about there, but that was absolutely tracking all over it. I've been disappointed so many times. I doubt this is going to be any different, but you never know. My last comp, I lipped out for a hole-in-one. Maybe it's that time, maybe I'm on like a little bit of a hot streak. Ah, God's sake. Right on line. It was just that bit too thin. Not a hole-in-one, but a chance to get back to level, which in all fairness, just using irons, I think's pretty damn good going. Pulled it. I've actually pulled it.